As a Christian, following the teachings of Jesus is paramount, and for some, this may lead to the belief that vaccines are unnecessary. The idea that vaccines are unnecessary for Christians who follow Jesus stems from a mix of spiritual, biblical, and personal freedom perspectives. Some Christians believe that their faith in God's protection and healing power makes vaccines redundant. They trust that if they live according to God's will, they will be shielded from harm, including diseases that vaccines prevent. This viewpoint is often rooted in biblical passages that speak of God's protection and healing, such as Psalm 91:10, which says, "No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling." Believers who interpret these verses literally may conclude that their faith is enough to safeguard them against illnesses, rendering vaccines unnecessary. Additionally, some Christians might view vaccines as a lack of faith in God's ability to protect them, suggesting that relying on vaccines instead of divine intervention undermines their spiritual convictions. Another argument made by some Christians against vaccination is the concept of the body being a temple. According to 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price, so glorify God in your body. Some interpret this to mean that introducing vaccines, which they might perceive as harmful or impure, into their bodies would be a form of desecration. This belief, combined with concerns over vaccine ingredients and potential side effects, can lead some Christians to believe that avoiding vaccines is a way to honor God and maintain the purity of their bodies. The aspect of personal freedom and the right to make choices about one's own body also plays a significant role in the belief that vaccines are necessary for Christians. Some argue that mandatory vaccination policies infringe upon their religious freedom and the right to make health decisions based on their beliefs. This stance is not unique to Christianity, but is often intertwined with religious convictions that emphasize individual autonomy and the responsibility to follow one's conscience. However, it's crucial to consider the broader implications of not vaccinating, both for the individual and the community. Vaccines have been proven to be highly effective in preventing the spread of diseases, many of which can have severe consequences, especially for vulnerable populations like the elderly, young children, and those with compromised immune systems. By choosing not to vaccinate, individuals may inadvertently put others at risk, which could be seen as contradicting the Christian principle of loving one's neighbor as oneself. Furthermore, the advancement of medical science, including the development of vaccines, can be viewed as a manifestation of God's gift of wisdom and knowledge to humanity. Many Christians see the pursuit of health and the prevention of disease as a way to fulfill the commandment to love one's neighbor, recognizing that vaccines can protect not just the individual but also the community from the spread of disease. In conclusion, the belief that vaccines are necessary for Christians who follow Jesus is complex and multifaceted, driven by a combination of spiritual, biblical, and personal freedom considerations. While some may believe that their faith provides sufficient protection against diseases, it's essential to consider the potential consequences of not vaccinating, both for the individual and the community. Ultimately, the decision to vaccinate or not should be made with careful consideration of biblical teachings, scientific evidence, and the well-being of those around us. By weighing these factors, Christians can make informed decisions that align with their faith and contribute to the greater good.